Hello and welcome to the new week. I don't really have anything to actually discuss. I have not started my book yet, the Funhouse. Oh, just Funhouse. But I would like to. Why am I starting this? Just because I was on the camera. I was in front of the camera. Have I watched anything? Oh, I watched House of a Thousand Corpses. Love that movie. Really, I think it might be Rob Zombie's best movie. I really wish that he would make like a Dr. Satan movie. This is about kids who go, well, young adults who are making a kind of a travel guide. It's Monday, by the way. I didn't vlog yesterday because my sister-in-law from out of town was in town. My only sister-in-law who doesn't live here. So it's like, really, it's important when she's in town. I miss her. I love all of Zach's sisters very much, so we were not home for most of the day. Anyway, this is about these road trippers getting tripped up by a weird family of bad people. It's a Rob Zombie film. Then what else? I watched this one called The Demon Disorder, I think, on Shudder last night. I've kind of gone rogue with my if I haven't rolled and drawn a card things, which is okay because I'm supposed to have fun. So I've been just picking things from streaming services, kind of. Although I do have some promotional credits from Amazon Prime that I could rent something if I found something interesting enough. Anyway, that's not the point. I do really want to watch Cure. That's one that I need to watch. That I think I'll have to rent. I should talk to Zach. I know he wants to watch that too. I really have to pee. I'm doing a pee dance right now. God, what? My mind's just going a mile a minute. I didn't like that movie. It was Australian. It was just, I don't know. It didn't keep my attention, really. It's about being possessed and then having these demon growths that were birthing into demons. But I don't know, it didn't really keep my attention. So today I'm gonna start Funhouse. Today I also did a really fun live discussion with the guys over from the exclusive elusive book society. They do live book discussions. This time I was invited to talk about Shadow over Innsmouth by HP Lovecraft. I've never read Lovecraft before. I've kind of avoided it on purpose because I know that there are some undertones that I suspected would just make me aggravated, and I just didn't, I avoided it because it's like, why am I gonna read something that I feel like is just gonna make me upset? But I thought I would do this, especially if there's gonna be a discussion, So I read it, and you know what? I did like it. Like, bottom line, I thought that it was a really entertaining story. I think that HP Lovecraft is like definitely a dude who is racist. And I think that he is also a good writer. So there's that. Like, that's all a bit out on the table. It was a great story, like really tense. And so we have a discussion up now over on the Book Graveyard's channel. So you can watch that over there. I think that I don't know, I think that everyone had some interesting things to say. Those guys have been reading Lovecraft, and those guys have some interesting facts about Lovecraft that, like, I didn't know about. So, yeah, definitely interesting, and like, I want to read more Lovecraft, which is like totally surprised. Like, I'm surprised that I liked this, and I'm surprised that I want to read more Lovecraft, and like, I almost feel like I'm having an existential crisis after this. So, I don't know. Like, I've had this HP Lovecraft, I don't want to grab it. It's like this fucking huge, you've probably seen it on my shelves for literally fucking years. I've had it because my father gave it to me. And, like, I don't have a great relationship with, like, my biological father. So, like, this is something that he gave to me, and it's kind of funny because it's like he knows that I read horror books. And, he gave me this thoughtful gift. He doesn't, obviously I didn't say, I don't like Lovecraft, Dad, and then he got me this book or anything like that. So, it was a thoughtful gift. And so I've kept it, even though I'm like, I'm never gonna read this. But I did, so I don't know, will I read more? I think so. It's fucking crazy to me. So yeah, today I'm gonna start Funhouse. It isn't, well, it's 160 pages, which is a little long for like what I've been reading this month, but it is also a point horror novel. So, those go down pretty easy. I've also got now another vlog to fucking edit shit. And I really need to do some dishes today. I've got to unload the dishwasher and then reload the dishwasher, which isn't an all-day thing or anything, but something I gotta do, and it's already like 1 o'clock and I need to eat lunch. I don't even have lunch today because usually we make lunch yesterday, but we didn't because we weren't home. I've gotta wash my blood off. I really have to pee. I gotta let my dog out. I had her in the crate because it was doing this thing. I've gotta eat. And it's conferences week, so I have to pick my kid up from school early. What am I gonna do with myself? What in the... Okay, so, yeah, weird check-in for today, but I guess that's where I'm at right now. And I probably won't be checking in today because I can't foresee myself finishing the Funhouse today, but maybe I will. Probably not. I can't imagine that I will, but if I do, I don't know. Okay, bye. Good morning, losers. It is Tuesday. I have read a little bit of 2 books. I've read a little bit of Funhouse. I'm about 50 pages in. It's fun so far. There are a group of teenagers. There's been this terrible accident at the Boardwalk amusement park. So this isn't like a typical, well, I mean, I guess it's kind of a carnival, but less like a traveling carnival, which is what I assumed at first. One that comes to town and then leaves the town. Kind of like in Something Wicked This Way Comes. We had one that would come in the really tiny town that I grew up in, because our claim to fame was that we shot at the James Younger gang when they tried to rob a bank and killed some of them. Not Jesse James, but eventually he did, die. I can't remember the whole story, despite living there for many, many, many years. But, they do like a reenactment every year downtown. People would dress up in the regalia of the time and ride horses downtown. They would reenact the shooting and all that shit. And then the best part was that we'd have a carnival that would come. But this is a boardwalk amusement park. So one that is permanently in place on a boardwalk. If you've never been to one of those, a lot of these are like on piers, so on the ocean, on a body of water. They're fun. A lot of the times they have like a Ferris wheel so you can go up, you can see the ocean. It's really nice. I've been to one on Santa Monica. So this one seems like it's supposed to take place in California. I think it might say Southern California even at one point, but the town is called like St. Lucia, I think. St. Louisa. and the roller coaster has an accident, and there's like one teenager who's killed, one who loses a leg, and then another one who's injured. So it's a terrible accident, and the main character Tess sees someone like sneaking off from underneath the roller coaster like right as this happens. And at first she doesn't really, she's like, huh, that's kind of weird, but the more she processes it, she's like, why is this person sneaking away from the disaster? Why isn't this person, it just doesn't seem right for something that happens at the time of an accident taking place, you know? Not the natural reaction of somebody who is hearing or seeing something out of the normal happening. So it's interesting so far. And then she's now gotten a threatening note slid under her door and things like that. There's also chapters including the POV of whoever has done this, so that's kind of fun. And I've been listening to, since I was able to get an audio copy of this from my library, When the Reckoning Comes by LaTanya McQueen. This is about a young Black woman who grew up impoverished, and she just like always planned to leave her hometown, right? It was never somewhere she really felt comfortable growing up in, and she had a friend when she was younger who was white, and they lost touch due to an event in their past. It was like the main character, Mira, her friend Celine, who was this white girl, and then another Black young man named Jesse. And they were like this trio who probably shouldn't have been friends typically, you know, according to society, but were. And something happened, and it really, they weren't really able to get over it as young people, and they all drifted apart. Especially, you know, as you're growing up, if something happens like that, like naturally you're growing apart anyways, and then this thing happens and it's just like, you know. So now after like 10 years, Mira gets this call from Celine, and Celine is asking her to, you know, come back to their hometown to come to Celine's wedding, and Mira's kind of like, but also, you know, she wants to see, she feels like there's unresolved stuff because of this event that happens, so she decides to go back, and you're not really sure what this event is, of course, until you find out. And yeah, so that's where I am, and I'm a little over halfway. I'm enjoying it so far. Definitely, I feel like this would be a good read for like the summer months. It feels hot and sweaty. And there is something that has happened now that is in the present that I'm very curious about, because it seems weird. And so now I'm like, well, I want to keep listening because I need to find out where this person is. So there's that. Also watched last night because of my dress up, I wanted to watch Reanimator again. Such a great movie. And you know, I realized when I got to the end of it, because of something that happens, I've never seen Bride of Reanimator, so I'm gonna have to watch that. So this is a story based on an HP Lovecraft story. This is a movie based on an HP Lovecraft story. Herbert West, Reanimator, about this young medical student who's a fucking weirdo, and he finds out that he can bring people back to life after brain death within a short window of time. He's kind of experimenting with it, and you know, his first bouts of experimentation don't go so well, but you're with him for figuring that out and seeing whether that works or not. So it's a good movie. Jeffrey Combs, I love him so much. He's quirky. He's a quirky little weirdo. Barbara Crampton's in it. She's great too. this movie goes some, there are some scenes in it that are uncomfortable. But, I mean, it's a good movie. It's like, there is a reason for the discomfort, and the characters get their comeuppance, of course, the ones who are being creepy weirdos. So there's that. And then I wanted to share with you a couple books that I bought recently. They came in the mail yesterday as part of my book allowance. I've been, you know, having to be really discerning about what I'm buying. But these were a couple, well, two of these were new releases that I was really excited for. This I actually bought from, I believe it's Blackwell's. I had to find a different store, a different way to buy UK versions of novels since Book Depository closed down like a year or two ago, maybe even longer. I was buying books from there, like all my Brandon Sanderson's, like the editions that I like, the softcover ones were all from Book Depository. So it's like, okay, well, where do I buy books from? But then I found, you know what, I really should make sure that I'm Blackwell's Bookshop. You can get delivery to the US, and you can find these beautiful UK editions. If one strikes your fancy and you're like, how do I get my hands on this? Here it is. So I really wanted to get this edition of The Black Hunger by Nicholas Pullen. This is like a medieval, creepy horror book. Let me read you the synopsis. It says, John Sackville will soon be dead. Shadows writhe in the corners of his cell as he mourns the death of his secret lover, and the gnawing hunger inside him grows impossible to ignore. He must write his last testament before it's too late. The story he tells will take us to the darkest part of the human soul. It is a tale of otherworldly creatures, ancient cults, and a terrifying journey from the stone circles of Scotland to the icy peaks of Tibet. It is a tale that will take us to the end of the world. So if I'm remembering, hopefully I'm remembering correctly that it is plaguey, and hopefully I'm not just making that up. But I do remember this is one that like, oh, I put it down because sometimes my brain is disorganized and I try to be organized. Like typically I'm organized, but sometimes there are things that happen where I see something and I'm like, oh, I like this. I do not want to forget about it. And then like I'll take a screenshot of it and I won't put it in the place where it needs to be for things like my upcoming releases, which is exactly what happened to this. And so I forgot to include it, but this is one that I was looking forward to coming out in the second half of this year, and here it is. So if you haven't heard about this book, I was really excited about its release, and I think you should check it out. It seems like it's going to be like weird and good. So, and then one that I definitely told you about, I know I did. This is I Believe in Mr. Bones by Max Booth III. I didn't think that this is a big book. I did not expect this to be. There's illustrations in it? Oh my goodness. Wow. Let me show you an illustration. It says the inside illustrations are by Betty Rocksteady and the cover's by Trevor Henderson. Oh, that one has boobies. Maybe I can't show you that. Maybe I can't show you that one. Oh, I don't want to get too far into it though. Okay, you know what? I'm not gonna spend 12 hours trying to find one. But okay, this says, the email subject line reads, do you believe in Mr. Bones? The recipient, Daniel Adams, one half of the Texas small press known as Fiendish Books, co-run with his wife Eileen. Does that sound familiar to you? Despite being closed for submissions, curiosity gets the best of him and he takes a look at the anonymous author's bizarre manuscript, only to find himself obsessed with the titular Mr. Bones, a mysterious entity rumored to steal your bones as you sleep, one by one, until he's replaced your entire skeleton with an unknown substance. But is Mr. Bones real, and has Daniel unintentionally summoned him? Or, as Eileen suspects, has he finally cracked from stress and lost his mind? So, I think someone needs to check on Max Booth III, make sure that he is indeed a human with a human skeleton and not a human with an unknown substance for bones. And then, sorry, I just itched my nose, it was so itchy, now my eyes watery. And then, Jesus, since I was ordering from Apocalypse Party Press, a press that I've wanted to check out, it was like one of my goals for the year to check out some small presses, order some books that I was interested in. So I've done that with the Apocalypse Party Press now. I also picked up Poking Holes by Juan Valencia. You might know him as Plagued by Visions on YouTube. Juan, such a nice person. He has such an eloquent way of reviewing things. I feel stupid when I listen to him because he is just really so intelligent and well-spoken. So he's written a book and I really want to read it. This says, people are holes waiting to be filled. People are sharp, nervous blades dancing across skin and bone. People are hungry, desperate, empty maws waiting to be fed. Juan Valencia's Poking Holes is a collection of 9 tales seeking to explore that emptiness, that volatile monstrosity and dangerous hunger that prevails through our encounters and self-destructions. Across bodies, across borders, across species, holes, gashes, and mouths open, letting fear and anger flow free. So just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful cover art design, and I'm really, really so excited to read this. Okay, so that's what I have for you today, Tuesday. Hopefully I can get Funhouse pumped out really quick. I do have shit I need to do today. I need to make some pico de gallo. I'm so sad. I made, like, honestly, I have like a salsa recipe. I mean, like, my salsa recipe that I have perfected over the years. And I made a batch of salsa this weekend that, like, I did the same things that I usually do, but for some reason this is like, I tasted it and I was like, I think this is the best salsa I've ever made. And then I fucking forgot it at my sister-in-law's house and I'm so sad. And it's like, well, lucky for them, that's the best salsa I've ever made and now they get to eat it. But I need to make some pico de gallo, need to marinate some chicken for dinner. So I will see you tomorrow, okay? Goodbye. Hello, it'd be cool if I could get my phone to balance here like this, but I can't quite. Oh, my back hurts. I had parent-teacher conferences today and mine was scheduled for 2:45 and I sat there till like 3:10 waiting for mine to just start. So it was a little frustrating. It turned out that the conference in front of mine, the student was translating for his mom. So it's like, I understand why, but like nobody came out to, like, our teacher didn't come out to like tell me, oh, I'm sorry. It was like, okay, have I been forgotten? Like, I just stood there. Oh my God, there was like this dad that walked by with like 8 kids and he was like talking to me like when he walked past, and he's just being a fucking weirdo. Just like, I sat, my back hurts. I don't know, I was just frustrated. Now it's like I have 40 pages left in Funhouse and I really wanted to finish it tonight. However, I also want to watch a 2-hour-long movie with Zach tonight, but like he goes to bed at like 7 fucking o'clock. So I was like talking to him last night and I was like, how can I make this work, right? This movie, how can we watch this movie together? And he's like, we have to start it at 6. And I was like, okay, let's do it. But now I'm like, how do I finish this book and also start this movie at 6? If like now we're doing our Wednesday cat chores, it's 4:20 almost. And I haven't even like made it home. I'm gonna like fucking eat dinner immediately. I'm not even hungry. Good thing we made our dinner for the week, because that's what we're doing. That's like our meal prep thing, is to make, well, we do it twice. Like, we make the same thing. And honestly, it's hard sometimes. I'm like giving myself food aversions. But Funhouse, it's fine. It's just fine. So this is my complaint for the day. Hopefully I can finish it tonight and also watch my movie. If I finish it tonight, I think I'll update you and roll again. We're trying to watch Cure, which I really want to watch. And that's it for right now. Okay. Hello, I did it. I finished Funhouse really quick. I gotta make this quick so I can eat dinner before 6. This was okay. Not my favorite point book I've ever read. Predictable ending, although there's, you know, quite a few characters in here that it could be, and the main character kind of cycles through them. There's a few red herrings in, but, you know, it was fine. It wasn't terrible. It was fine. So now, reroll again. 3. 1, 2, 3. Trick or treat spot. Trick or treat spot. Give you an update of where I am on my map. Right here. Here's my marker. Full of cat hairs. Everything in my life is full of cat hairs. Here we are. When I made this, I was like, I'll go around here multiple times. But even with rolling, like, I feel like I've rolled a lot of like 5s and 6s, and I still haven't made it all the way around the board, all the way around the board yet. So I'm gonna choose an activity. Hell yeah. Where are my activity cards? Ah, this is fun. Tomorrow I do have kind of a busy day. I need to do my psychology work for the day, and my dog has a vet appointment in the morning, but perhaps I'll be able to fit some activity time in, depending on what kind of activity it is, or, you know, there's always Friday. So, what do we have here? Pillsbury cookies. I already did this. I actually did this 2 times because I bought some and my daughter was like so antsy about doing it. You know, I can go see if I'll go see tomorrow morning if I can even find them, actually, because my Albertsons like remodeled very recently, and now like the section where they had them is like not the section where they have them anymore, and like I don't know where the fuck they are. And then I found these other ones in place of them that were Halloween cookies, but they were like Nestle ones, and they had M&Ms in them and then a Halloween shaped sprinkles like bats and ghosts and pumpkins. And so I bought those also, and then I made them because I had a the thing was that I had a cookie dough hankering. And so I opened the package and I was like, well, I can't just let this package sit open. So then I made the cookies, and they weren't as good as I mean, like, these are barely good, you know? So, maybe, okay, I don't know, this is kind of jumping the gun, but what I like to do with Lovey's leftover Halloween candy is like take certain candies, like what's good for this is like Twix, Kit Kat, Reese's, Snickers. I'm sure Heath, this is good for that. And like chop them up and put them into my chocolate chip cookie recipe and make like Halloween cookies. But like, am I gonna like, okay, especially because like Zach especially, but like he really watches what he eats, and he's not gonna help me fucking eat cookies if I make a batch of cookies. So like if I make those now in place of this, like if I buy a bag of candy and then like if I do that again with all these, well, maybe I just don't, I don't know. I'm just like trying to brainstorm here. What do I do for this if I can't find Pillsbury cookies? Okay, I'm gonna go to the store tomorrow morning. I'm gonna look for some Pillsbury cookies. If I do not find Pillsbury cookies, what I'm gonna do is look for a little bag of mixed chocolates, and then I'll make Halloween cookies instead. Chocolate Halloween cookies. And it is really better if you get like a broad, you know. You know what? I'm just gonna pick another activity because I've already done this. Learn about a spooky history topic. So this was to watch something, find a podcast, read a book, learn about a spooky history topic. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I kind of, what kind of spooky history topics? What kind of spooky history topics? Maybe I'll have to ask the Discord about this. I like this idea, but what do I want to do? I kind of, I think about Unit 731, which is this horrible war crime that Japan did during World War I and II times, where they did human experimentation. I've read a book about it, I've seen movies about it, I've consumed lots of media about it, but maybe there's more. Maybe I'll find like a podcast about it or something and listen to that. That's pretty spooky. Is that spooky or is that just like disturbing? Where's the line drawn? And then maybe I'll find like a, I don't know, History Channel spooky thing or something to watch as well. We'll talk about it. We'll workshop this, okay? I'll think about it. I have time to think about it. I'm making this way too complicated. I need to go eat dinner, okay? Leave me alone. Leave me alone! I think it's because I've had 4 sips of beer and now Zach bought me this because I had a hard day. Kind of. He said, "You've had a hard day." What was my hard day? That I had to stand outside my kid's classroom for longer than I wanted to. That's hard. He's very doting. Okay, well, I'm going to go eat dinner and then I'm gonna watch this movie that I'm really looking forward to, so I hope I really love it. And I'll talk to you tomorrow. Hello, it's Friday. Me and this angry penguin. Oh my god, she just hates me. Oh look, I have another friend. Come here, Baron. Come here, Baron. Can I lure him? He does not want to sit on my lap. Come here. I'm afraid Fang Fang's gonna beat him up if he comes too close to her. Don't do it. Fang! It's been really territorial lately. It's Friday. It's Friday. I do have some things to talk to you about in a more standy-uppy medium, but I am going to finally do my prompt where I learn about a spooky history topic. And can I fucking flip this around? I don't know if I can. There's no button on my thing that tells me I can do that. Okay. I picked a topic. I want to learn about the Fukushima nuclear meltdown. So I searched for a documentary about that. I was able to get a 7-day free trial to PBS documentaries. Apparently there's a streaming service. So there's like an hour-long documentary about that. It's called Nuclear Meltdown Disaster. It's a Nova documentary. I feel like maybe we've remembered watching those in school. I feel like I did. And then you'd have to, do a worksheet on it to make sure that you aren't goofing off. So I'm going to watch that and then check in with you about what I learned. I'm going to do my own worksheet. Just kidding. But kind of not. But kind of am. Hello. I just finished watching a documentary about the Fukushima nuclear reactor meltdown in 2011. I have to admit, I didn't know much about it. I'm wondering if it is because of the time period it happened in. I was like out of high school, but like the internet wasn't a huge thing at that time, you know what I mean? So like it wasn't like now where like a lot of people get their news through the internet, and I wasn't in school, so I also wasn't getting my news at school. So that's my theory. So I watched it. It was really interesting. What happened was there was this nuclear power plant in Fukushima, near the coast, and there was an earthquake. They, you know, had practiced what to do in case of an earthquake. Everything was fine. They were working on shutting the nuclear plant down. But then what happened was there was a really big tsunami that came because of the earthquake, and they had, you know, things in place for that. But because of the size of the tsunami, it washed over like the barriers that they had in place for that, and it washed into like the important electrical structures that they had for the plant, and like took out their generators and shit. The generators that were needed to help cool down the components that are used for nuclear fission and things like that. So they weren't able to properly cool down, and that resulted in a meltdown. And it was really interesting because nuclear reactor meltdowns are something that I am interested in, and I've read and watched and listened to things about other meltdowns before, and a lot of the times there's, sorry, Savvy's in here with me right now because I had her put away while I was watching the movie. It seems like, you know, in other places there's a lot of blame on other people, you know. It's like, oh, this happened because of this person or this company or blah blah blah. And you know, you could say that that's deserving or appropriate, or that makes sense, right? But in this case, the people who were there, and I feel like they acted appropriately for what happened. Like they, you know, a lot of it, it's like it really could not be helped. Sabbath. It seems like they did what they could. You know, the earthquake happened, they had drilled for it, and they shut the plant down. And then it would have been fine if it had just been the earthquake, but then the tsunami came, and it was like, this is really what fucked things up. And you know, they worked as hard as they could to bring power back on. They couldn't read any gauges. They didn't know what to do. They couldn't just like vent you know, steam, like nuclear radioactive steam into like, you know, the direction of the surrounding like towns. You know, it just like they did the best that they could, but still like the workers there were like, they put blame on themselves, and I feel like they really did the best that they could given their situation. So it was kind of interesting, not just the situation, but culturally how people deal with situations like that. So I don't know, the responsibility of things was kind of interesting. So I'm gonna roll again. I'm gonna talk to you about some things that I've been reading and stuff like that. It was interesting. Okay, so I rolled a 1. This is a pumpkin, which is a movie. I think I finally got it down in these last weeks of Halloween-a-thon. That's this file. I I didn't watch a movie last night. This is the first night I haven't watched a movie. Oh no. I flopped them. I started to watch Evil Dead 2, but I was just tired. I don't know why either. I slept like 9 hours that night because I didn't go to the gym. So I went to bed at like 9 and woke up at like 7. Something Wicked This Way Comes. Sweet. I forgot that I haven't watched that one yet. So maybe I can convince Loves to watch this with me tonight. I don't think she's seen this movie, but this is one that I really loved when I was younger. I feel like we might have had a VHS of it, or likely a VHS that my mom taped off the TV. I had a couple other ones like that. I know our copy of The Rescuers Down Under was taped off the TV, recorded off the TV. So let's do that. I forgot to talk to you about When the Reckoning Comes by LaTanya McQueen, which I didn't like as much as I thought I would. A little bit disappointing. Not that it was a bad book, but this is about a woman named Mira who is coming back to her hometown. I've talked about it a little bit. You know, she had this, it was like this trio of friends, Mira, Jessie, and Celine. Mira and Jessie were black, Mira was white, but they were all just kind of like poor kids who felt ostracized for different reasons. You know, Mira and Jessie because they were black, Celine because she was poor, although, you know, none of them were really wealthy, but just none of them fit in, and so they got along together. And Mira kind of escaped from her hometown. This event happened that kind of made them grow apart, and so Mira is coming back because Celine is getting married, but also mostly because she really doesn't even want to go to Celine's wedding, but mostly she's coming back because she feels like she needs to reconcile these feelings about this event that happened, right? And Celine's wedding is at this like remodeled plantation home, which doesn't sit well with her, obviously, which doesn't sit well with Mira. And like, what the fuck, Celine? Like, how tone deaf are you? I just felt like there was one part of this that I really liked where some of it's got this feeling like, what time period am I in? And that I really enjoyed. But like the plot itself, I wasn't really sure of. I listened to this and maybe it was the audio, but especially in the beginning, it was hard to, like, we're flipping back and forth between Mira's past and her present in a way that felt discombobulating. And that's not what I meant when I said, what time period am I in? And I think if you've read the book, maybe you understand, because there's like some real time period shifts, not just like time of life shifts. So I don't know. I felt like I couldn't really get to know the characters in a way that really made me care for them, and like the event that drove them apart, I didn't really understand exactly like why that drove them apart so much. And so it was like, I don't even understand what the big deal is about this. So I don't know. It's like, I think that the author has really nice writing, and there were parts of this where her descriptions of things were so like decadent feeling, and I really would, like, I listened to the whole thing, right? And it was, I didn't feel ever like I wanted to give up on it or anything like that. I just felt a little underwhelmed, and I would like to read more from her. It just, like I said, felt a little underwhelmed. by things. It was like it just had these ideas and none of them seemed to, it wasn't even like they were fighting against each other. It was just like, I wish one of them was like, came out stronger. You know, there was like this thing with maybe spirits from the plantation. There was this thing with the event in their past. And it was like, I don't know, there was a few other things, like this disappearance of a character, and it was like, well, I don't know. It just felt like there was too much, but also not enough somehow. I don't know. So now I've been reading All Smoke Rises by Mark Matthews. I heard that this was good. So I read a little bit last night. I'm to page 25, and so far this is about a woman who is on parole, but she's still, I don't know, she seems like she's in one of those situations where she wants to turn her life around, but she's not really making the real actual right decisions to do that, because she, you know, she's on parole, but she's, you know, living and participating in, she's living with somebody who's dealing drugs and, you know, participating in that as well. And you know that she has a son who died, and like that is part of the reason why she's on parole right now. But it's also weird because like this story starts out and it's like different than that, and it's like the premise is like the story about the woman is the story you're being told, kind of. Does that make sense? So I don't know. It's I'm interested in it. So yeah, I mean, I'm not very far into it, but I did want to read more last night, and it was like, I was just too tired. I was too tired to even watch a movie after I put this down. So that's where I am for today. What did I watch? I don't have my phone on me. What did I watch the night before? It's been a really busy week. I had parent-teacher conferences. Savvy Dabby Doodle had a vet appointment yesterday, which I always kind of dread. It's like, I like our vet's office, but it's like, I like our vet's office because I know no matter what, like my animals are going to get very good care. But there are two vets there, and one is always like, I don't want to say nonchalant, because I don't think that that's it, but she's always like reassuring, you know? And the other one, her tableside manner is a little bit off. I wonder maybe if she might be on the spectrum, but I always feel like I'm getting a lecture when I go there, and that makes me feel weird. And I also wonder if it's maybe the type of dog that Sabby is, because she is a golden doodle. She's a designer dog, right? However, this is not a dog I bought for myself. This dog was a gift. So I did not pick this dog out. In fact, I love Sabby, but I would not pick a golden doodle out for myself. Not that I don't love Sabby, but like, it's just, you know, not a dog that, not a breed I would have sought out. So, you know, I wonder if like maybe that's part of it, that I get lectured because she's you know, like, you know, a designer dog, like I said. So I always get a little bit anxious when I have to bring her in. It was just for her updated vaccines and like a checkup with the vaccines. So I was getting a little bit anxious because it's like, oh my god. I mean, and Sabby has just had like minor health issues since we've had her, you know, like UTIs, or, well, just one UTI. She's just had stomach issues, you know, sensitive tummy issues. She had an issue with her spay incision after she got spayed, just things like that. She had a skin infection at one point. It's like, this dog has been to the vet more times than any other animal I've had in my life, right? And she's like 1.5 years old, so I feel like that doesn't help either. But she's been really good lately, and I was really glad when I brought her in, and that vet comes into the room. I'm like, oh no. And I know she cares about the animals, and I think that's why she's so lectury. But she was like, oh, she looks really good. Her coat is good. Her skin looks really good. Her weight is good. She looks really good. You should get a little buzzer to cut the fur on the bottom of her paws. It's like, yeah. She was getting a little slippy and slidey in between her grooming appointments. Here's Sam's. You do have some eye furs that are getting in the way, huh? In between your grooming appointments. But anyways, I got an A+ this time. Huh. Yes. She said your ears look good. Yeah, she said you're a pretty girl. She did. She said that you're very cute and you eat your treats very quickly, don't you? So quick, she almost can't give you a shot before you eat them. So, anyways, I'm gonna watch that movie and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. What's up? It's Saturday. I have finally put my book stuff back together, all the way together. Although I did move my chair a little bit. My chair, it's just like facing a different direction. I'm not really sure if I like it. I might face it this way. Before it was kind of like diagonal, right? Because like this shelf right here points this way. And so I've always faced my chair that way. I don't know. I don't know how I like this. I don't know if it'll stay like this. Anyway, last night I watched Something Wicked This Way Comes. Me and Loves did. It's been a long time since I've watched this, and you know what I didn't realize is Mr. Dark, played by Jonathan Pryce. He is in the later seasons of, what is it, Game of Thrones. Is like one of the like most frustrating characters in that show. Yeah, so like that was kind of interesting to see him in this role when he's much younger. I also was reading that Ray Bradbury really wanted Christopher Lee to play Mr. Dark, but Disney was like, no, we don't have the budget for that. So that's kind of interesting and sad. He would have made a great Mr. Dark, but I think Jonathan Pryce did just perfectly in this role. So yes, this was such a great movie. I was really glad to watch this again. Terrifying. And like, what the fuck? Why is this not on Disney Plus? This and like Watcher in the Woods. I have a copy of that too that I haven't seen in forever. So now I'm gonna roll again. I just got back home like half an hour ago from a 2-hour long massage. Zach's mom, an angel, a baby angel. She texted me last night and she's like, do you have time for a massage tomorrow? And I was like, I think I could make time for that. So she gave me a really long massage, and I'm hoping that it helps with my back, which is like not as bad as it was, but it's also not completely better either. And I'm really bummed about it because I would like it to be better. Like, I haven't been doing certain things at the gym. I've had to skip, certain things at the gym. I just want it to be better. I'm like, I don't want to be like, one, It's like the pain I live with. Like, I already have like neck problems that I just live with, and it's like, it sucks, but I can get through that. But like having to modify my behavior, that I don't like having to do, I guess, so much. Anyway, let's do a roll, see what happens. Okay, we rolled a 3. That gets me to a ghost. We skipped a candy again. A ghost, which is another movie. Okay. What are we watching tonight then? Cat o' Nine Tails. That is a... I think that's a Dario Argento movie? Yes, I remember talking about this because it says this is his movie after Bird with a Crystal Plumage, which was his first directing debut. So there's this. I wonder how long this is. Is this really long? 112 minutes. It's a little bit long. So I guess depending on how my back is feeling, we'll watch this. Especially because... What are you doing? I know. Why is she stalking you like that?
I don't know. I'm just laughing at her.
Goofballs. So yeah. We'll see. We'll see how this works. Maybe I'll watch it tonight, maybe I won't. Because I'll have to, I don't know. We'll just see. This is a maybe, I guess. I will watch a movie tonight. I don't know if it'll be this one. So, okay. Those are my plans for tonight. Tomorrow I've got some shit going on as well, so not shit in a bad way, just shit in a general sense. And I don't know what I'm doing. Probably not something very spooky because it's more like my friend's child's birthday party and I love them. And I'm going because I love to see them. But I'm not excited about listening to children scream at a pizza place. I'll tell you that much. But they've come to my children's birthday parties. It's just the duty you do as a friend, right? They've come to my children's birthday parties and now I go to their children's birthday parties and you just have to do it, right? So that's what I'm doing tomorrow. And I haven't seen them in a while because they live out of state now, so I will be excited to see them. So yeah, that's my thing tomorrow. Oh, this wraps up week 5 of Halloween-a-thon, which is crazy, and I don't know. That's wild. Thank you for tuning in for another week of spooky stuff. Next week, I'm hoping to get very spooky because I'm going to be going through my activity prompts and like, I'm gonna be doing some spooky stuff, okay? We're gonna be doing some spooky stuff. Some spooky activities that I didn't get to do. Because my board was like cruel to me. Like, what kind of sick Halloween trick was this on me that I somehow played on myself? Disturbing Halloween trick in not a nice way. So, okay, well, stay tuned for that. At the end of next week, I guess, you'll see what I did. Stay tuned for things such as making a pepper lantern, petting a black cat. My daughter is doing live reactions to this, looking at Halloween decorations, making a movie for it. What else? Ooh, playing the Final Girl card game. Hell yeah. What does this one say? Eating Halloween candy. Eating squash. Playing horror video games. Oh, making zucchini bread. Yes. So this will be fun. It'll be a fun week. So stay tuned for that. I will talk to you next week. Goodbye.